Welcome again to the second episode of Girls Talk. My name is Victoria. Once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click the bell button. S-Class 256. So today I'm with the lovely lady and gentleman, Daisy and Sam. We'll be talking about domestic violence, its impact on women, children, young adolescents, and as we'll be discussing, please follow, please comment, please like and share. So let me introduce to you Daisy.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daisy, and I'm the founder of Visionary Lady Foundation, an organization that works to address issues that leave young women marginalized and the youth vulnerable to access to SRH services, GBV, and any other issues that affect young people. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Thank you. And Sam.
Good afternoon, dear viewers. My name is Mobiru Sam. I work with Agri Faith Network as the activities coordinator, and also I work at S-Class on other shows. So I'm very happy to be hosted here on Girls Talk today with Vicky. So just like the page, comment, tell us what you think about the shows and also our other things that we do in S-Class. So thank you so much, Vicky. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. So today we'll be discussing about domestic violence. Domestic violence, how it has been increasing, how it has been rampant among the women in Uganda and all over the world. So I'll just give you a brief statistic of domestic violence. The Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Mr. Frank Tumwebaze, said that a total of 3,280 cases of gender-based violence were reported to the police in Uganda recently. And on 4th August, he said that the police is going to make sure they get all the perpetrators, all the violators of these women. So now our question comes from there today. As you, the one who works with marginalized women, what do you think domestic violence is all about?
I think domestic violence is about infliction of pain to either the male or female persons. It's not necessarily, most people think that when they talk about domestic violence or gender-based violence, it's women-based, but this is a two-way thing. Only that it's most of the times, most of the cases arising, it's the women that are suffering the most. So that's how I understand. So it's both just pain that's inflicted on either male or female. Okay. Yes.
And Sam, what do you think domestic violence is when it comes to the men perspective?
When it comes to men's perspective, like I personally, who is standing here on the side of men, I think domestic violence is something that happens, or any violence that happens to any human being, regardless a man or woman or a child, anyone. Like these are things that are always faced in our communities, like fighting, abusing, and also killing each other. Yeah.
So do you think that, I think, to me, domestic violence, okay, let's start that. To me, domestic violence is when you infringe someone's rights. Someone may not be necessarily physically beaten, or they can be emotionally violated. You refuse maybe to show your wife or child affection. It can also bring violence in the home. So that comes to our second question. As a woman and a man, do you think that domestic violence, okay, what are these causes of domestic violence? What brings the violence in the home, in the school, in the community?
To most, as a woman, given the cases that are rising at the moment, some of the causes that might be causing this violence in families might be because of poverty. You see, because of the lockdown, most people have been locked into homes. They have nothing to do, and so now families cannot afford to feed the people within the home. So because of that, issues are rising up. But also because of, it's also deep-rooted far into, because of the inequality of, of, of families, of women, because women are treated at a low, how can I put it?
Women are looked at
Are
as
looked at
objects.
as objects. So when they try to talk back, maybe the man starts slaps them or something of the kind. Men want to be superior to the other sex. So that is also causing violence in families. But we could also look at the negative cultural norms in these communities of ours that are making women go through certain things that are affecting them. So because a woman has not maybe done a particular thing that the culture thinks is very important, the man, when the man discovers that, and then it becomes a problem in the family. Maybe I could let Sam say something about the man.
Before we go to Sam, because you know Sam is a gentleman. He may not really understand these things quite like on a bigger perspective. But before we go to Sam, what are like those things? Like, for example, let me take a case scenario in that you are a woman, you are educated. And this man is also educated. I perceive that in that family there shouldn't be violence because you guys are literate, you know about these things. But it has fueled up in this COVID, and most people who are being domestically violated are in the cities, not even in the villages.
Okay, so I would say, you see, when people were moving around and everyone had their space, there was so much that you wouldn't know. But now that people are closed
From
up
your partner?
closed from your partner, but now that you're closed up into one room, you know how these town houses are. It's just bedroom, sitting room, the next room. You're all just compacted in one place. You easily start to notice what you've not been noticing. You start to be very inquisitive. Your partner's phone rings and you're asking who is calling. Why are you receiving so many texts? You get. And then some women decide to reach out to maybe checking the husband's phone.
So
and
it means that women, we are the ones who fuel up the violence.
No. I'm not only saying about women. It's a two-way. Even men may it may happen to also the male partner. Yes.
So, Sam, I would want like you to tell us the domestic violence in what have the men done about it. We know that there are feminists out there who fight to get the to curb the violence in communities. And what is the men's what have the men done? How have they influenced this?
I personally, because when you ask my colleague there, like what are some of the causes of domestic violence in communities, schools, and where we stay, let me first of all bring you, like in our communities depends the way we are raised. We are raised in the way that our mothers were the ones doing everything, and by the time we grew up, like becoming a man, you have that thing in you that a woman is the one to do everything at home. A man is supposed to wash, a man is supposed to cook, a man is supposed to do any domestic work. So by the time we grow up, we look at a woman as something, a machine. She's supposed to do everything at home and like do for us anything that we feel like we want to achieve, we as men. And then also, if you look at our young brothers and sisters when we are growing up, our sisters were the ones cooking. For us, we used to go play football, like run around. Depends on which kind of mother you had. If your mother was a person who used to divide work at home and tell you, okay, you Sam, you're going to wash utensils, your sister Barbara is going to be cooking, the other one is going to be cleaning the house. Which if that wasn't the case and the boy was looked at something, you just go play your games, do whatever you want, then you come back and play and eat food, then you go back and play, just throw the dishes there, then you go back and play. So as men, at times we are the ones who we are the perpetrators. We feel like we are very superior among women, and we look at women as an object. I can slap you, I can do everything, and it's more worse when it comes to people who are illiterate. They look at themselves. A man looks at himself or a woman as someone who is you are just my object. Like I got you from your mother. I paid whatever that you guys will ask me. So if you are here, I can control it like a TV. I just press any button and the channel goes on. So most of men always think like that. And ask men sometimes who are trying to come out and respect women. Men think, and other men always look at us as people, we are very soft. Like that's the thing that, yeah, for you, a woman will even like tell you go wash the toilet or utensils, and she stays in bed. But that's not the thing. We just want to play each role like equally. If your woman is doing something, if she's breastfeeding the kid, you can be washing the utensils, you can be cleaning the house. So as some men want to come out and also protect women, but like we need to go back in schools and start educating our sisters and brothers on how a woman can be easily treated in a home. How can we respect a woman? How can we respect a woman's body? Sometimes it hurts when your sister comes and tells you so and so abused me, or so a man touched on my back. Like that's disgusting. Of course, you go back and you check yourself. Like, is this real? You want to feel like you want to go back and fight. But remember, at one point B, you also want to touch somebody's butt. But what comes in your mind when you try to, is this really normal? Does it, if you don't want your sister to be touched like that, why should you touch someone's sister like that? Okay, so as men, we are the perpetrators. I accept that, like, I believe that, because most of the women who were affected during COVID days, women were the ones who were mostly affected by the lockdown when it came to gender-based violence. If you look at all those cases, majority are women, just because people were not
But
even...
even I have a feeling that men are also being violated out there, but they cannot come out and say that, you know what, I'm being violated at home.
I just
Why
wanted
is
to
that
add,
so?
I think most people do not know what their right is. They don't know what their human right is, what is not supposed to be done to them. So what we need to do now is create that awareness, sensitize people about their different rights, sensitize people about, let me take an example of sexual harassment. Most people do not know that if you touched me where I don't feel
Like,
you shouldn't touch me, that is a violation of my right. Most people do not know that. And looking at most workplaces right now, there's a lot of sexual harassment on the streets, in our homes. Most of these maids are being violated, but they do not even know that if someone touched me, that is actually a violation of my rights. So what we need to get out there is sensitize these young people on what is right and what is wrong, what their right as a human being are, so that they understand, they get to know that if someone did this to me, I have the right to report. I have a right to say no when I don't feel like doing something, you get. So we need to get out there and sensitize people, creating awareness on all these.
so now that brings me to a small question. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many men out there are being violated? Yeah, you're a man. I may violate you and you don't want to tell anybody.
Before I even look at the scale, you ask like, men is right, are they not also violated? Yes,
Yes, I asked.
even us men, we are always violated. Women beat us, like they abuse us, like because she has seen a certain message so and so sent you, and she get pissed, then you end up quarreling. And because men sometimes crush you into our anger, then a woman beats you up. She comes and slaps you. She abuses you, and she even shame you in front of your kids. And then sometimes we ask men, we just take it easy. Like, this is a woman. How will I go to police and I say my woman beat me up? That's like you look like you're not a man enough. You need to man up. You get, because even if when you go to police, your fellow men will laugh at you. You get, like, we are always also beaten, and we face these things of gender-based violence, but we don't always report. We fear to go to police. We fear to be ashamed.
It's a matter of it's a thing of self-esteem. So is it called inferiority complex? So and then also because of peer pressure, how a man feels like how
will
will
my
my
body
bodies
I would like
And
go
also
back
look
in
at
their
me,
ego.
and also ego. But we need to encourage them to come out and actually speak out on these issues that are happening to them, on this violence that women actually do to them. I would say that a number of men are going through this. Like I said, people do not know what violation even is to them. Someone will abuse them, but they do not know that that's emotional torture on them. So on the scale of 1 to 10, I would say maybe 6 are violated, but they do
can't
not
come
come
out
and
out.
say.
Yes, they do not come out. They will not
So
come
what
out.
what is the impact? Like what impact has violence brought upon the children? Remember, if the mother and the father are fighting in the household, the children are affected psychologically, emotionally. So what are those things that trigger the children
Um,
when they see their parents violating each other, the father slapping the mom, or vice versa?
One is emotional torture to them. Take an example of the recent case that has just
Yeah.
been making rounds on TV of the
The IHK lady.
IHK lady, and you hear the kids talking about it and they are crying, just looking at, even thinking about what their mother was going through or what their father did to the mother is torture
Yeah.
to them. So now, first of all, they need to get psychological
Help, assistance.
yes, assistance. And if not given, that is going to be in their mind. They're either going to have hatred for men, or they are going to, those kids are going to grow up knowing that they can easily beat, because
Yeah.
I think this has been occurring.
It has been a trend in
Yes,
the family.
in the family. So those are kids that are going to grow up to big men, and they will be beating their wives,
Yeah.
and the same thing may repeat itself with time. So I think it's really bad. These kids, first of all, are not going to be freely talking to their friends right
Peers.
now. Yes, they are not going to be freely talking to their peers. They are going to be maybe depressed all the time.
But also, let's also look at the community. Like, let's ask some this question, because you work with community health. Let's look at the community. What has the community impacted on such a vice, on such a vice of domestic violence? What is its impact? Because really, if a neighbor they're fighting in the household, there's ruckus. What has the fellow neighbor done? Have they reported to the police, or they are just there shunning in their house and they're like, "Ezontalo zabo"?
You know, like the way our communities are nowadays, uh, we we just care about ourselves, care about our families. I don't want to care about my neighbor. We
So people do the
Everyone
mind your
cares.
business.
mind your business.
Yeah.
Like if we are in the fence, like we are six of us, it's very rare for us even to come and say, "What's your name?" You get, like, we don't know each other's names.
It's true.
We even,
True.
like, there are some communities we reach a point whereby you don't know who is your leader, like who is your LC1, who leads the community, like, we just come, you enter your gate, and tomorrow you leave, go forward. So the community, like, we have distanced ourselves from reality. And if we only come when something happens, if so and so has been killed, that's when the community will come. And you know what will happen? What they will do? They will all come, gather, look at what has happened. They will move their smartphones and start recording, put the things on social media, and they chill. Then when police
So
comes,
you as a community health, advocate, what are those initiatives that you are going to do for the community? Are you going to engage them in some talks or something?
of course, now, like, we need to engage the community. Like, we need to bring the community together, and you have that one voice. Like those days that a child used to belong to the community, not to your father or your mother.
Yeah.
You used to belong to the community. When somebody finds you and you're not wearing a shirt, he or she will beat you up until you go and wear a shirt. Like you belong to a community, which is not the case nowadays. So we need to go back to reality. We are
To the old times.
to the old times. Like, we need to take care of ourselves. Like, we share. If time reaches, you carry something and take to your neighbor. Hey, have this. Like, you share.
child is
You
a
get to know each other. Like, you eat as a
It's
family.
communal.
You get, like, because if your neighbor is there and you feel sick, or if your woman wants to give birth, it's a neighbor you're going to knock and give me a hand. Please help me either keep my kids and I take my wife to the hospital, or help me drive us to the hospital as I carry the woman, or give her a hand behind the car. So we need to be united and have one voice. So me, as a person who goes in a community and work in a community, we need to have those community dialogue meetings, which brings people together. So those meetings always make people know each other, and also the LC1 and LC2, like the leaders in the community, they need to have that community meeting. They need to meet and they discuss issues that affect the community. So if your neighbor knows that so and so is beating the wife, can easily tell the chairman, you know what, that man beats his wife in the morning. You get, in that the community, like, gets a solution, sits to your side and tell you, stop beating your wife. Like, you have got to know this. You get, then you cancel you up and they tell you that the man is not supposed to beat up the wife. If the wife beating up the man, then they still the woman can be talked to. In that, things change. Let us not be in our own
So now
books.
like you guys are all organizations. So now you as organizations, have you tried linking up with maybe the police, or maybe government ministries like the Ministry of Gender or something? Because I know organizations also support, the
Yes,
domestic violence projects and all that.
yes,
Have you done anything to curb this?
yes. So I'll give an example of what we do as visionary. So for us, we work in, like you said
Yeah.
earlier, we work with the marginalized women in rural communities. So one of our projects on GBV is, of course, we do create awareness. We do encourage the community to report on these cases, but we are also working hand in hand with the police,
Do you have linkages?
specifically with the family. What is it called? The family protection
Yeah,
desk
yeah,
at the
okay.
police stations. Uh, we do have trainings on how the police can handle such questions. Just simple skills on how the police can handle specifically GBV cases. On where if a victim came, how would you go about it? What what should be said, what shouldn't be said? Because when we're interacting with some of the victims, some of them say that the reasons why they do not report these cases is when they go to the police station, the police starts to ask them, for example, in a sexual harassment case, maybe rape or defilement, they ask them, how were you dressed? What were you doing there? You get, and most of this time,
They're
some
traumatized.
cases, it's actually the closest people to us that will do harm to you.
Yeah,
You get,
true.
because you least expect it. Because I'm so free with Sam, I can easily go to his place when he invites me, and then when he does something to me, I will fear to report, because the first question will be, you took yourself to his home, you get, which shouldn't be the case. So we carry out sensitization trainings, but also creating awareness to the community in general, but also training the officials on how to handle these GBV cases. It's very key.
And
Yes.
Mr. Sam?
And when you said whether we work with government ministries like Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development,
Yes.
we basically do that at Nagutha Network, because we always conduct those what we call community dialogue meetings,
Okay.
where we engage those stakeholders, the leaders and the community itself. Then they get to know each other, because like I told you, like some police officers, like for us, we know at police, we used to know, you just go there, report a case, but like we say policeman, you just run away. Like people fear police, but police is there to help us, and they're also there police to be helped. You get, like
Yes.
we all need each other, because if you come to look for a victim in my community, you will ask me, do you know so and so, and I'll be the one to direct you. If I want to report a case, I'll go to police. So we always link the community and the police, that they be friends, but they're also the community leaders, and we bring those different things, that issues that affect people in the community. We bring them together and we show them where the gap is, and how best they can easily fix the gap with our support. And there are still also some innovative young people who have come up and put up different toll-free numbers, and then also the apps which report gender-based violence. I remember there's one called Safe Pal. There's also centers for how where you can easily get where you can assistance for gender-based violence. You get be linked.
Sauti,
Yeah, there's also Sauti,
Sauti.
like all those things are there just to help. But now one thing I also, if you look at them, what if I don't have a smartphone? How best can I access a police? You get, like, because we fear you. By the time you get a police and say this man raped me, they ask you very many questions, and you also fear. And people even don't know that if you are raped, you are supposed to go after police. You go and be checked. You are supposed to be given paper and also emergency pills for you preventing get pregnant and pregnancy. But people don't know that. Once they rape you, you just go back in your home or at your place and cry. You shed tears. You get traumatized. You will even start fearing men. At the end of the day, after like few months, you end up being pregnant, and you end up getting either be with HIV, or you will be having different diseases that you don't know. Could be, and not HIV, but an STD, an STI. Like you end up getting some different diseases. So it's better, like for us, we always work with the community and also support those ones who are victims of gender-based violence, giving them medicine, that's PEP, then also give them emergency pills, and also linking them to police where they can be easily assisted.
There's
Do you also go into the schools? Because violence may also be in schools. It may begin
Definitely.
from home and they take it to the school. Do you
yes.
people engage the youth, the adolescents, and all those people?
So for us in various schools where
Mm.
we are implementing our projects, we have projects with activities within the various schools, in primary schools and secondary schools. We are yet to enter the universities now.
Okay.
So in the different schools, we've created clubs, health clubs that encourage, first of all, they are to encourage the young people to work together, to learn together, to play together and do various activities amongst themselves. But the most key thing in it is that we wanted to encourage the girls to stay in school and complete their education. So within the activities that we have in school, we have an activity on GBV prevention. So we talk to them about the different violence, causes of violence, and how to prevent violence, how to go about it. If you've seen violence, what do you do? The after effects of violence. We take them through all that. So yes, we work in schools and we work with young people. We also work with young people out of school. We have specific programs for young people that are out of school that keep them busy, that encourage them not to indulge in such acts, but also encouraging them to report such acts that happen in the communities. Yeah.
So you, some as a youth coordinator, do you do post follow up if someone comes to you, they have been violated, and what do you follow them up after that?
Yeah, we always follow them up. Like we keep their phone numbers, we keep their home location.
Do you have also some engagements you involve them in? In
Yeah,
anything, activities?
we have some engagements, but before we even engage you in anything, we first of all need to take you through psychosocial support. We have psychiatric doctors at the hospital who is like give them medication because it's a process. It's a recovery. They just recover from something because the person tells you every time that I sit there, I look at this man raping me. You get so we have those doctors who give them medication, and that when they recover, at least this person goes and engage him also in something. Most of the victims, they either work or they have some things that they always do. They are either students, then you show them on how best they can engage themselves into community activities. If you want to go play football, go and play football. Like it helps you to kill that stress. You get clear the mind. You don't need to sit there and start thinking. You don't need to think too much. You need to let the thing go because life continues. Good enough you are not killed, so your life has to continue, and also you have to grow up and be a good person in the future. But now most of the girls who are raped, sometimes they grow up and look at men as victims of what, like they fear men.
They look at them as a disgust.
Yeah, they look at them like something which is not supposed to be even being in a community. So that's the thing that we always clear them from their mind. You don't need to look at men like that because we are not all like that. We're not all rapists. You get. So every time that this girl is touched to, she fears and she runs away.
But then again, why is it that these women, these young girls, not everyone who is being violated comes out, to say that I've been violated? Why do they still stay in those homes when they are being violated?
Sometimes it's fear of coming out. Maybe they have nowhere to go.
So you as a lady who works with these women, this group of people, what are those things you tell them? Do you encourage them to leave? Do you encourage them to stay? Because there are those who they will be violated on a daily basis and they will not want to go. What do you do to those?
So what we've done is at family level, we talk to the family. We do a one-to-one discussion with the perpetrators and then with the victims. We try to talk to them and find a solution. Try to find a solution. But we also do referrals. Where we failed, we do referrals on where best they can help. We do not encourage someone to stay in a place where they are being violated, but we do not also take out someone by force. You get. So we take them. It's a process. That
Baby
you take
steps.
them. Yes, it's baby steps. So you take them through what's happening. First of all, you have to listen. You listen to both sides. I won't say that we are not police to start coming
start,
and then
judging
judging, But for us, when a child comes to us, we listen. and then we talk to the family. We talk to someone in charge in the family, maybe the mother or guardian, whoever, and we try to find reason to why this is happening or how this is
Do the
affecting
women
the
open up
child.
freely? Do they freely disclose and say that
After some time, on the first visit or the first meeting, they do not. But as you open up and being friendly to them, it's the interaction that you have, the relationship that you build with them, that will help them open up to you. Because if you go and you're giving them, I don't know, this attitude, or you're not giving this listening ear, of course someone will not come and say out what's hurting to them. But it's the friendship that you build with them that someone will start to trust you and then start to open up and tell you what's happening in the family, and then you try to find a solution
So
to
for
it.
you, what do you do to the men? Do you go and okay, to the perpetrators, the one who has violated? Because I know, like, as a youth coordinator, advocacy, you want to get to the person who has done, like, the crime. So when you get to that person, what do you do? Do you immediately judge them and be like, genda mukomera,
No,
or you do something?
you don't need to judge them, but before you even go to the perpetrator's place, you need first of all the victim comes and reports. So if the victim,
After that process, the victim has reported, you have done everything. What do you do?
you know, if you're a perpetrator, you're supposed to be arrested because you've violated somebody's rights.
So don't you get to know, like, the reason
Of course,
why they have,
by the time you
done
come and
that
tell
or
me,
something?
by the time I get to know the reason, I personally, I don't need to face the perpetrator. I need to first of all look at the victim.
First the victim.
Is the victim okay? Is the victim's health okay? Because, like, then if the police arrested the perpetrator, then what
Then
is
you-
next? We follow up as the perpetrator being taken to court. Because I will give you an example of women. Some women have been raped, and they tell you, I don't want my, like, you ask
My
them,
husband.
have you gone to police? She's like, no, I don't want to go to police. I want to get medication and go back to my family. You get, why don't you, we ask, like, why don't you arrest the husband if the one is the one who is the perpetrator? She will tell you, oh, she'll arrest the husband, who's going to take care of my family? They look at that.
So the
Who is going
women
to
stay
take care
there
of, yeah, who's going to take care of my
Poverty,
family?
my
How are my kids
children.
going to look at me like our mother imprisoned our father? And like, if they arrest you, if it's rape, of course they will put you in. Then if it's defilement, they will put you 5 years inside before even you appear in court. 5 years before even you appear in court. Then you need to serve your sentence if you are in prison. But they look at that as something big. How will I survive without my husband? But then they will tell, I don't want my husband to be arrested. Or if they arrest the husband, if the woman gets medication, she goes back home and she sleeps for 2 nights without the husband, she'll come back to police and say, no, I want to close the file.
Yes,
You get? So women need to be motivated, need to be taught on how they can deal with this work, that life continues even if this man is in prison. Because he is supposed to serve his sentence in prison. But the women always want to come and close the files, even they want to go in court and testify that this man raped me, did this to me. Even if you are married, your husband can rape you.
That's
Because if
very
you don't want to have sex with him, why should he force you to have sex with him? That rape is always there. There are some men who always rape their kids.
Yes.
Like the father comes
So
and
what do you
force-
now that also brings us to that question? What do you do to the person who, like, you have given birth to this child? Then why rape them? Like, really, what do you people? Because I know you, as civil servants, organizations, you do a lot of these things: mentorship, empowerment. Really, what do you do? Because to me, if someone came to me like that, I don't know, and told me that my father has raped me, I'll be like, no, genda mukomera. But you guys have, a soft touch. What are those
The
things you do?
procedures. So when someone comes to you, you don't just say, kati, because that is a case for police now. So like I said, at the police stations, there is a desk, a family desk specifically for family issues.
Yes.
So the first thing that we advise is for any victims is to reach out to the police and go to that family desk, and then the family desk will respond to that. They have the best
But
way to respond.
people are not, like, so free with the police, because they know that if I go to the police, they may ask for kintu kidogo before I
Yeah.
start saying anything. So they come to you, advocates, you guys working
Yes,
in this.
so-
They feel that
Because-
you have a listening ear.
Yes,
you are
we have
more
a
ready to
listening
listen.
ear, but because we've also built this relationship with the officials, we know how to approach them, and maybe we have this working relationship that they will always, if we went there with our person, this is how they are going to be treated. You get? So, I think it's also very good to have that relationship with the community, and then also with because when the people trust you, and then you also have this working relationship with the police, then I don't think that whole thing of this is happening, the police is asking for this. It is maybe, I would say, if someone went directly, that's when they would ask for that. But if a person has passed through an organization, it is very hard because they also know that these people might expose me. You get? Most times that is done to people who do not know what their right is, what police is supposed to do. You get? Yeah.
And also, if to add on that, some women, they don't want to imprison their husbands. They look at men as something which is very important in the family. They feel like they can't take care of the family if these men are not there. And also, our work is to help the victim, and our work is to see that the perpetrators as like law has taken its course, and we don't need to force so much. If you tell me I don't want to report my husband, and I ask you what, you give me your reason as why, and I teach you, I advise you on why and what you should do, and I don't need to force you to go to police. My work is to serve you and get medication. You get well. But if the problem is these women always come back. He has beaten me again. You get, like, sometimes I want to engage the police, and the police act immediately. This man is supposed to be inside.
And
Then we
then-
you get, like,
Yeah.
because
Because
it's
they
a routine.
change
It
their
feels like this is a routine. You know, if nobody has touched me and I've seen this, I've done this, I feel like I'm very big. Like, my fellow men look at me like, I mean, you man, you're wachukuba, like you're very okay. Even if you beat up your woman, nothing happens to you. You get, like, this man is supposed to be. The law has to take its course. Like, everyone is supposed to. If you have done something wrong, let police act. Like, we don't need to think the other way around. And what should
But
we do?
really, again, what does the man have to lose? If he wakes up in the morning and just tells the wife, "You annoyed me here," or did this, then battering. What does he have to lose to address the problem? Does he really have to beat the
I
wife?
think it's the upbringing of someone.
Yeah,
Sometimes
was
I don't
The
agree with the
environment,
upbringing.
the environment
also.
someone grows in, how someone controls their anger.
But
all
really,
that.
upbringing. There are some children who are brought up, they see their parents fighting and quarreling, but to them they are very calm. They grow up when they're upright, they are calm, and they cannot do that to their wife.
It is the way
So-
someone manages their anger. How does the person control the anger?
We ever seen kids who even beat up their parents? And
yeah.
if you see your father beating up your mother, you get pissed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you catch whatever that is around you and hit the father because you're trying to save the mother. And you ever seen kids who are beating up their mothers? So at times it's a two-way. You need it depends on how the person controls him or herself. And also, there are those who abuse drugs. If your husband abuses drugs, or if your woman abuses drugs, there are those who come back home when they are drunk. Then he beats the woman up. But then he gets up in the morning and, like, they told him what happens. It feels like he needs to apologize. You get. Sometimes if you take also alcohol, you need to check yourself. How best can you control yourself? You get. You need
But
know how
to me,
control
I
alcohol.
think that domestic violence has been, like it has come in a new generation. I don't think in the past there was domestic violence, because our parents will tell you that our grandparents were comfortable, them being 5 in the household, 5 wives, and the man would not beat up any. Don't you think that it's these new vices that have come in? You can just wake up and you tell your
With the
wife,
.com era.
No,
Yeah.
I think violence has always been there. It was there, only that in the past, you know how it was, women are advised what happens in the bedroom doesn't come out. That was the case. But now that women
We are empowered.
women have been empowered, so they feel if you beat me, my friend has to know, you get. My mother has to know about this. I will film you, you get, and then it comes out. That is the only thing. But this violence has been there. It's just that women had been suppressed to the point that they could not say out, and their mothers are advising them, their singers are advising them, you do not have to say what happens in your house. What happens in the night doesn't come out during daytime. When you cry in the bedroom, you come out and put a white smile. But now, that is not happening. That's why you're hearing more of it coming out now.
To me, I think sometimes I always talk with my mom, and she told me like there's no day like the husband has ever beaten her. Like, because she used to tell me like the time my husband used to come back, if I'm pissed, he's the one to move out, not me. You get? Like the man who used to move out and go. Like if you feel pissed, you move out. You leave the house, the home. Like this is an advice to every man who is married right now. Before you think of beating your wife, just need to step out. If you feel like you want to
cool down a
you
little.
you cool down, you go play, either watch football, you involve yourself in any activity, like you chill, you relax, you get, like you don't need to be there, look at your woman like a punching bag. You feel like you want to exercise your body, or then you hit your woman. That doesn't make sense. Like how will your friend, look at you like you're the one who beat up your woman? And I find you at police when they have taken you because you're a man who beats up a woman, because this is a person who can't fight you to you back. However, there are some women who are strong and can fight you back, but still you need to check yourself, because you're a man and you look at somebody who is more stronger than you. Even if your woman is huge and you are very small, you need to box your woman. So you need to check yourself. Like you don't need to fight your woman. Why should you? And why should you exercise your body on your woman? If you want to punch anything, I remember Museveni said, if you want to punch anything, you just go and you either go punch the wall. Why should we know that you are beating your woman or your wife? That doesn't make sense. Even if it's your girlfriend, why should you beat up your girlfriend? You get?
So what, as we wind up in 10, what are those alternatives? What are those things you have made you as, young advocates, you as people who work in NGOs, own NGOs? What have you done to curb all this, to curb this vice, domestic violence?
To me, I think the first thing that we need to do, for us that we are doing right now, is reaching out to young people, starting to sensitize them at an early age about the disadvantages of violence and how they can prevent it. And because we want to change this generation or the next generation, we don't want what is happening now to repeat itself in the next generation.
Yes.
We are tackling it right from the
the
early age, from the grassroots, from the family level, but also our main focus or target is on the young ones, so that they grow up knowing what is right from what is wrong. They can differentiate.
Okay.
And then before I even go that, just want to advise police, like let them not look at everyone who is like a bank account or your ATM. Like if I come to report a case, want to get money out of me, yet I'm a victim of something, then you want to first of all get the money. You get, and don't even also take money from perpetrators, because sometimes if people report cases at police,
The perpetrator gets bond immediately.
they get bonds immediately. And this guy then goes back to the community because he has money and the woman doesn't have money. So you need to check also yourself. Like this is we are trying to clear our country. We want to have a country whereby no violence. But if you, the police who are supposed to keep law and order, are the ones who are breaking laws, then what do you think of the community? So you are good. That's why people are trust in police. Like you need to check yourself also. Then maybe to look at that, like some of the things that we have come up with, we have to make sure that paper and prep is there for the victims, and also counseling is there for the psychosocial support, and also the psychiatric doctors are always there to help them, the victims, and also work with police. We link the victim to police to report their cases, and also try to follow police up, because then police goes. Also, the police are supposed to act, and they go up, they follow up to the court till when this person is taken into and also serves his sentence. I know by the time this person comes back, he will be well shaped, no more beating women, and he will be the best advocate for women. And also respect to like every man, a border rider, taxi conductor, like you need to respect women. The guys who stand, you need to respect women. Those guys don't respect women. The way you want to respect, there's nobody who's going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. Like you need to respect. If a woman, if you see a woman, you see a woman walking, you don't need to pull her hand. You don't need to touch on her butt. You get
Imagine
like
Yeah.
you
how
respect
they would
her.
feel if they
You
put
get
their wife.
how would
or
you
their
feel if
daughter.
somebody is standing there and start jeering or like calling your sister a certain word? You get you don't need
Why?
you get like you don't need to put those words there. You respect yourself. Like if you know you look and appreciate and you move on.
So you as a man, what needs to be different is to the men need to respect.
Of course, respect is supposed to be there. It's a two. You, as if a woman respects me, I also respect her. However, like sometimes as men, we always get pissed, but you also need to control ourselves. And also, the woman, you need to control yourself. You don't beat up your husband, or you don't need to bring up the issue that will lead you to beat. There are some women who say, "You beat me and you see." You get it? Beat me and you see.
They
Eh?
provoke.
I will show you where I came from. I'm a chica. You get
You
those
know where I
things.
come from.
Yeah, you don't know where I come from. I'll beat you up. Yeah. Like those things men feel like, hey, you are trying to tease me. Let me show you.
I think also women need to know their rights. They need to step up. They need to tell the man, confront him and tell him, you are doing this to me, it's not right, and I'm
not
going to the
right.
police.
Yeah, definitely. Also, let
They
us
need
not
to have a voice.
let us not only look at the
But
statistics,
you
the
see,
numbers.
a woman can. Most women that cannot speak out are women who are economically down, who are not
Yes.
financially stable, independent. When a woman is not financially independent, she
So
cannot
that's what,
say a word.
to me, I'm urging you guys, the NGOs, because I know, you work with different partners. There is at least some money running through you guys. You try to empower, economically, financially empower these women, because economic independence is, a really good thing, and a man cannot step on you when you are economically independent.
Even those who are economically independent, men beat them up.
Yes,
However, they don't
do.
come out and report. You get because they are those women who like
Who love the man too much.
Yeah, you know. Let me tell you, men always, like
so.
men always fear to approach those women who are economically well. And once this woman get this guy, he will treat the guy like
It's everything.
it's everything. You get because men fear those women who drive themselves. Trust me, they always go for these ones who are batambuza chai, like you get. Yeah, that's what they always look up for, and they fear these ones who are economically stable because the English they always speak. The offices they always sit in. They sit in ACs, even their cars have ACs, so they fear to approach them.
Okay, so
Wow.
what are your last words on domestic violence? You guys should talk about the things you want the world to know. Any last words on this?
Maybe let's start with the woman, and I'll
Oh,
bring
you
my-
give the man's
Yeah.
perspective. Okay.
So for me, I feel violence is very bad. Violence has caused a lot of negative impact to the community, to individuals, to children, and to families. It has led to breaking up of families. It has led to death of individuals. It has led to children being fatherless, motherless, or
Yeah.
homeless, and also traumatized. So I feel that for us to curb this, I should say, is it a pandemic or whatever disease that is affecting our community right now, we need to work together, we need to work hand in hand with the community as individuals, as families, with the police, with all stakeholders to put an end to this
Combined
and
effort.
make sure it will take only a combined effort for us to put an end to violence in our communities. And we should encourage each and everyone to come up and report these cases of violence. Don't see someone being beaten and you just look on, because the next day it may happen
you.
to you. So just come up and speak up and report these cases to the police and make follow-ups of these cases. Don't just file your case at police and then you go back and relax. The police will also relax. Make a follow-up of your case and make sure your perpetrator is
Put to justice.
put to justice.
Maybe to me, I'll try to government. Let the government not leave everything to NGOs, CBOs. Like government is just sitting there and relax and wait for the NGOs to come up with numbers and also adverts on TV and on radio. Because government has a right to say that now they can make adverts which can run on TVs, or like they tell, like it's a must you run these adverts of gender-based violence on your TV stations, which is not happening. If the NGOs and CBOs don't come out to put money and these adverts to be run on TVs and radio stations, they will never run. So if government comes up also with its own adverts and put them on TV, it will help everyone. If government just sits and look at the perpetrators and so the victims, just be people being killed, they look at it, then they add on their number. If it was 10, then it becomes 11. Yes, they just keep adding numbers. You get, like, you need to come and gather the information, and also like let the law takes its course and let every perpetrator be put in book and also put in jail. If the court rules up that way, let them be put in jail. Don't look at the, we don't need to look at the numbers. Don't need numbers. We need people to act upon those numbers. We need action, not to sit there and look on. So like to everyone, just visit Naguthe Network. You go and get free services. We're just located just behind ShopRite. Go China Uganda Friendship Hospital. When you get in, just ask for teenage centers. Just services are there for free 10 years, 24 years. To every adolescent. We have psychiatric doctors. Mental health is open for every age. Then the other services are always there. Paper and prep is always given.
Okay. And where should they find you, in case they want to know more about these rights and all?
Oh. So we are based, our main office is in Palisade District, Blessed County, but in Kampala we sit on Samawata Road in Youth Line Forum.
Okay.
Yes.
So everyone, thank you for watching. It's been Girls Talk on S Class 256. Keep the comments running, like, share, comment, and let's end violence. Let's end domestic violence, because violence is not a good thing. It's not good to be violated. It's not good to be mistreated. So let us end this. Let us fight, work, advocate to end this. Thank you for watching. Ciao.